Welcome to this week's Patriots Mailbag. I'm Doug Kyed. If you have a question for me, tweet it to me at Doug Kyed using the hashtag MailDoug. First question here from Tucker. He asks, if Gilmore leaves in free agency, do you think Miles Bryant will get an uptick in usage? Do you see him as a future number 3 corner after J.C. Jackson and Jonathan Jones? I like Miles Bryant's potential, and that's not just because I'm a Washington Huskies fan, but I can't really see him sharing the field as a cornerback with Jonathan Jones, just because both of those guys are more on the undersized side. Jonathan Jones about 5'9", Miles Bryant even shorter than that. Both of those guys are slot cornerbacks, but I could still see Miles Bryant being the slot cornerback of the future, and that's if Jonathan Jones moves to free safety when Devin McCourty eventually leaves or retires. I'm not saying that's going to be next year or the year after, but I do think that Jonathan Jones has that potential to move back to free safety, similar to what Devin McCourty did early in his career, and then that would slide Miles Bryant into the slot role. But let's just mention how amazing the Patriots are at finding these undrafted cornerback finds. Miles Bryant, J.C. Jackson, and Jonathan Jones, all undrafted free agents who have become useful NFL players, or in J.C. Jackson's case, or Jonathan Jones' case, some of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Second question here, Matt asks, how would you grade this rookie class so far? I'm cautiously optimistic that they have found some solid contributors, and Uche, Duggar, and Jennings, and Owenu has been a steal so far. I would say, B+. I'm right there with you, Matt. I think that there's a lot of optimism about this Patriots rookie class. Kyle Duggar has started the Patriots' last 4 games. Anthony Jennings has been a solid run defender and pass rusher. Josh Uche has really come on strong over the last couple of weeks. He had 3 QB hits against the Chargers. And Michael Owenu, a guard in college, has really been one of the best right tackles in the NFL so far. The middle of the draft class, the Patriots haven't got a whole lot out of the 2 rookie tight ends, plus kicker Justin Rohrwasser, but there's certainly still time for those guys to contribute as well. But there's a lot of impact players in that draft class. The Patriots are 6-6 right now while having to use a lot of those rookies. Final question here comes from Shazy Boy Fitzy. He asks, what are the chances that Bill uses Winovich and Uche like they were used in college? Have them as your bookend starting defensive end duo? I would say unlikely, simply because both of those guys are on the smaller side. Chase Winovich is about 250, 255. Josh Uche is about 245, 250, and the Patriots like having more size on the edge just to contain the rush a little bit, contain quarterbacks. I think that Chase Winovich will definitely be one of those starting edge defenders in the future, as he already is, but Josh Uche, I think the Patriots view more as either a stand-up linebacker or a situational pass rusher, and that all depends on how Uche can develop against the run. But for now, he's that third down edge rusher, and maybe he could slide into a role similar to that of Kyle Van Noy or maybe Jamie Collins in the future, but he's just not quite there as a run defender yet, and I can't see both of those guys being used on the edge just because they're not big enough, and I don't think they really have the potential to bulk up to be a player who's 260 or 270, but I could definitely see both of those players starting in the future. Like I said, it's all about how Josh Uche develops on early downs as a run defender.